Okay, hello folks. We're in Bangkok today. Now the topic for today is the relationship between teacher and student. Now, if I think back to high school and the information that I learned from my teachers, there's I remember the information more than the person. There's a separation between what I was studying and the person who taught me. And this comes in any professional environment. There's this weird tendency for learning martial arts and spiritual knowledge that there's some type of deep emotional commitment to the teacher, and the cultish behavior ensues. And let's say, as an example, I've had several students who have spent many years studying under a teacher, and then that relationship is broken down, and all that information they learnt from that teacher is now tainted. They don't feel like they can continue to train the martial art or the spiritual system that they previously learnt, because it was so tightly emotionally connected to the person who taught it to them. So as a teacher, you have a responsibility to act more as a guide, in that you're a finger pointing at the moon, and the person focuses on the moon and not at the finger. So this emotional relationship between you and your students is really important, that you create a separation from yourself and get them to identify with the information they're learning, whether it's martial or spiritual, and make other teachers available to them. So whether it's other people in your organization or other teachers of different areas, that you're always sending them to different teachers to learn different topics where people have a high level of expertise. Because it would be obviously complete ignorance to say, I'm your only teacher and you can't learn from anyone else. You want to be able to send them to people you trust. So if someone's very good at healing, say, go study healing with this person. This person's really good at BJJ, go study with them and learn ground fighting, and so forth. And if you're able to disconnect your hierarchical ego and what the students needs first, that will naturally happen. But if your ego is very, very unbalanced, you'll say things like, don't mix teachings. You can't study with other teachers, and so forth. These are all strategies, or even worse, if you change the system, you're going to get bad karma. These are all control mechanisms by people with very, very big egos. Of course you can mix systems. What happens if a person who's studying Taoism goes to a Vipassana retreat and learns mindfulness? They're watching the thoughts arise and fall away. The mental body occupies more space, static disappears, and they go back to their Taoist system. They're more sensitive to what they're previously doing. They're now better at it. So not mixing systems is it's a cult strategy of control. Universally, it makes no sense, because universal laws are what they are, and they apply to every system equally. We all under the same fundamental principles. So any concentration that you achieve in any system will move across to any other system that you apply. So if you become more concentrated playing tennis, you're also going to be more concentrated driving your car. The mind, it transfers from one topic to another. Those strengths just naturally transfer. So my suggestion to people out there who are looking at teaching, put a lot of thought into psychology of how you're going to be interacting with your students, and how you delegate responsibility to them to develop themselves and remove responsibility from yourself as the teacher. Remember, the finger pointing at the moon. The finger doesn't do anything other than point at important things for the student to work on. It's not about the teacher, it's about the things they're working on. So have a look at your psychology, break down all cultish behaviors. I mean, in a martial arts school, fair enough, people need to wear a uniform of some type. But as soon as that uniform synchronizes everybody and makes everybody the same, they're very controllable and sheepish. So be very careful on isolating students from other social environments. Cults will pull everybody into the same circle and go, oh, don't socialize with the people outside. Well, how are they going to learn if they don't have external stimuli? And there'll be a whole range of these triggers. You can Google, psychology of a cult, and you'll pretty quickly start figuring out how these things work and how controllers control people. And avoid these types of organizations. You want to have complete freedom within your mind to think, feel, and act in any direction you want without your teacher saying no. If there's any boundaries they place around you, those are what we call boundaries of ignorance. They're just functioning from their ego and not for your betterment. Okay, I'll do a few more structured videos on this topic on breaking down the psychology, but just this gives some food for thought. Because a lot of the people who are on my channel, they are teachers, and if they don't take care of this themselves, they may get trapped in a very, very cultish type of environment, and they may not have been the ones who created it, but they end up being trapped by it. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thanks for your time, and see you on the next video.